If you like historical pieces and you love some scheming and violence, Barbarians is the show for you. The second season of this German Netflix series is now available, so let's get to it. 1 year after the Varus Battle, the Roman troops have returned to Germania, stronger than ever, and Ari is confronted with his Roman past once more. And in his effort to punish Ari for his betrayal of Rome, his brother Flawus has joined the Roman side. This season's another 6 episodes that are around 45 to 55-ish minutes long. Now, we rejoin the characters a year after that massive battle in the forest, with now the Romans regrouping and more than doubling down on their presence, intent on conquering the tribes. This season focuses a lot on Ari as he tries to unite the tribes to take on the Romans. Now, we get insight into the sort of political structure of the tribes, and while each has its own Reich, to unite them all, they're looking to name a king. Now, of course, this won't go smoothly because power struggles and ambition, they're just fun to watch play out on screen. I love the simultaneous faith and mistrust that some have with Ari. Now, because of his upbringing in Rome, he's powerfully knowledgeable about the tactics that the Roman legions will use. But that also means that he can be viewed as an outsider, even though he's fought alongside the tribes and more than proven himself. This doubt creates some great drama within the characters, but it also sets up political opportunities for others, and that then creates even more wonderful drama. The scheming that takes place in this season is just excellent to watch. Now, some of it is a little predictable, but it's also exactly how we expect certain characters to perform, so that predictability is actually right in line with the character traits. And there's not just scheming within the tribes either. We get to witness some of it within the Roman side, and even though this season doesn't focus too much on what the Romans are doing. Now, don't get me wrong, we are in the Roman camps, we hear their plans and their discussions, it's just that the majority of each episode is devoted to the tribes and what they're working towards. And parts of the treachery we witnessed was aggravating to me. Not that I didn't like it, but I was just frustrated that characters were doing things and then I was wishing bad things on them because of those. It's great to see so many of the characters return, and now we get to watch the ramifications of actions that were made in season 1 come to fruition. Some of it's maddening and other times it's really heartbreaking, but it all works to keep the tension high and then maintain an engaging story. Now, something that stood out to me in both seasons is the costume design. I love how the characters are dressed. The Romans are exactly what you'd expect, with their metal chest plates and these helmets with those fringes on them that look like they're Mr. T. But the tribes, they're very eclectic in their dress, typically with lots of furs and leathers. But then there's a variety of plaids and tartans. And as a massive fan of flannels, a lot of the patterns I think would look awesome on a shirt. And when we get to the final battle sequence, the war paint that they put on is so menacing and fierce looking. They create fear just in their presence, and then when they're splashed with blood, it looks even more terrifying. Now, with the action, there's not as much as I had thought that there might be. There are some fights, and the choreography and the camera work I think is awesome and immersive, and it makes us feel part of the melee. Now, I just expected there to be at least one huge battle in each episode, but that's not what we get. There is action in each one, but not to the scale that I anticipated. And I don't think that's a bad thing either, because when we do get the fights, they are brutal and violent. And there's one towards the end of the season that is quick and gnarly with some stabby action that could make you wince. The action is crazy enough that we can feel the intensity, with some parts of just a little difficult to discern because of all the quick fighting movements. But really, on the whole, we can see what the actors are doing, and I think it looks convincing. And this wouldn't be complete without at least one epic battle. And the show really delivers. The setup is beautiful to watch as smoke covers a field to just obscure the view. And it creates a very ominous tone that's really fitting for what's to come. Now, something that makes me a little bit nervous, just based on past Netflix track record, this season ends with a bit of a cliffhanger. Now, the main story arc is wrapped up, but a new one begins. And that's then where the show leaves us. So I'm really hoping that a third season is greenlight quickly, and then we can get it relatively soon. So overall, the second season of Barbarians is immersive, treacherous, violent, and a lot of fun. The action is choreographed awesomely, creating an immersive experience, and when it's combined with characters that are richly developed, the peril and danger for them is palpable. The world building is enveloping, creating captivating drama with complex heroes to root for and then devious villains to root against. If you like period pieces with deep and flawed characters, this is a show to check out. There's sex, nudity, some profanity, and then a ton of brutal violence. I give Barbarians Season 2 4.5 out of 5 couches. So, are you a fan of this series? Do you have a favorite character? I really like both Tusnelda and Fulquin, but let me know yours in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.